Hi, my name is Brenda Green, and I'm with Perceptive Healings. Today is about breast care is life-changing, and the big reason why I gave that title was just from my own personal experience when I learned about the self-care habits and this is something that was just out of personal experience. I could visually experience and see a change in my own care just from practicing certain habits that made a difference. And I'll go into that more when I go into the slides. If you're watching this on replay, I noticed a few people were trying to get in and may have had issues, and I restarted. So I apologize if you had any problems getting in. I also want to let you know that I'm adding an image with the video on my website where the Healing Talks events and where you can see the replays of all the different talks. I'll add that on there because I think it's important for resources for this particular talk. So you can look for that there, and I'll mention that in the meetup group as well. So I'm just going to go a little bit in about myself, and there is a disclaimer because I am not a physician. I specialize in Ayurveda wisdom and teaching the yogi self-care habits, and that's just so you know, always consult your physician or for your medical care, your treatments, anything related to your physical care. This is just more to enhance what you're doing and to give you more options, easy things that anybody can do. That's why I wanted to share that today. On my story, I always had issues with the fibroids in the breast, and that was ever since I was a teenager up through age 49. And I don't have them anymore. What changed for me is when I became part of a big detox that occurs every year. We used to have guest speakers in there, and Talia Letzker, she's like an encyclopedia of Ayurveda wisdom, and she had mentioned that the self-massage for breast care would prevent cancer. So when she said that, I really took it to heart. I took my habit of self-massage, which is one of the habits that we teach, and I started to do that every day, just with the breast care. I didn't used to always focus on that as much, but I started to make sure that even if it was just for a very short time, but every day. When I started to do that, I noticed the lumps were disappearing until all of a sudden they were all gone. So that spoke volumes for me, that not letting that energy or those cells or anything stagnate in there, and circulating that around, that would help loosen any of the toxins that have built up in there. So that's what I recommend, is 30 to 60 seconds a day when you're doing your normal routine in the morning or in the evening, however you want to do it. Just spending 30 or 60 seconds just around the breast area. So I'm going to share a little bit more. I also pulled the visual from knowyourlemons.org is the website. And they have the visual of some of the things to watch for. They also have an app, which I did pull it up on my phone, and it's the same thing, Know Your Lemons. Once you enter in some of your information there, it'll tell you when's the best time to do a breast check, which is about 5 days after your moon cycle. So it'll actually give you the best range of time to do that, and just follow those guidelines, and you'll see that image there and there as well. But visual awareness is something that it takes a little time. Not everybody is comfortable with the touch of themselves. So if you need a little more time, just get yourself used to it slowly. But if for those that are knowledgeable of Ayurveda and you know what oil is best for your body constitution, you can use a little bit of the oil. For those that are practicing Shivambu, you just you apply that instead. And it's during your moon cycle, we don't use oil, so during that time, just after a shower, when your body's still wet, you can do the self-massage then. That makes it still easy to do. This is a good time to think about your products, especially your personal care products. You can look at the things that you have. There's safecosmetics.org, so you can see the ingredients that have a tendency to cause breast cancer or other health issues that disrupt the hormones, things like that. So those things, it helps to, just as you can. I mean, you're not going to throw everything away in the cabinet all at once. It's just, and you still may use your products to a certain degree, but just slowly incorporating better, safer products. And that's why I put madesafe.org in there as well, because that's a good place to check. There are cosmetic companies, Beauty Counter. I found Dab Herb Makeup on Etsy, and I like their products, so you can check their products out as well. And that's more food-based cosmetics, so it's something that I like that a lot. But look at things like your shampoos, your lotions, your creams, and shampoos, everything. I mean, it's just deodorant. It's a little harder, but there's other options too. So if you don't want to use like natural deodorant, it didn't work for me, so I still use regular deodorant. But it's I know how to do lymphatic massage, and lymphatic massage helps draining the toxins that are in the lymphatic system, and that's part of what builds up and will build up under the shoulders and into the breast. So, and I'll show you that resource as well. Using less plastics with your food, whether it's cooking in it, storing it, covering it, any of those things where you can reduce that more and more. The plastic is so much of an issue. It just seeps into the food. It seeps into those things. And a lot of those are hormone disruptors, and that can cause a lot of problems. So that's an easy thing that you can do. There's a lot of, using glass, pottery, different containers. They have the honey bee wraps, there's a lot of other options. And they have containers that are reusable whenever you're taking your lunch for work. And then same thing, you're working towards like reducing the intake of processed foods. There's so many chemicals and different things in the processed foods. And again, it's not a all or nothing, just slowly taking out some of those things and doing more towards home cooked foods when you can, or organic foods. And same thing, and not all of us can make that switch all at once. We just slowly work on that as well. Another major point is self-love and compassion. If you think about how often we have had negative self-talk toward ourselves, toward our bodies, heard it from everybody, heard it from the community, heard it from just work, everywhere. So it's working on yourself and working on how you feel about yourself, those positive thoughts about your body, accepting yourself as you are. It all sounds easy, but it takes time. So you're just learning to kind of, whenever you have those thoughts coming up, to soften into self-compassion. Self-compassion is what brings you more of that self-awareness, and you don't feel as harsh toward your body when you do that. When you have emotions that trigger you, trauma, shame toward your body, allow yourself more time to get comfortable with this habit and developing that acceptance and that loving feeling toward yourself. You start small. You just allow your mind to feel more comfortable with, like, doing the self-examination for the purpose of wellness and happiness. If it has a more medical necessity kind of thing, then your mind may have an easier time accepting that. And it's just something you experiment with yourself. What makes me feel more comfortable in doing this? The lymphatic drainage massage on YouTube, my favorite person, she's an expert in this field, is a cancer rehab PT, is the name of her YouTube channel. And one in particular, the video is called Lymphatic Drainage Massage for Breast Lymphedema and Swelling, how to complete a lymphatic massage. So learn exactly how to do that. This is something I do every day. I just do, where she teaches to start here, and then it's going along those lymphatics areas, and then going down, the neck to finish the drainage part. But it's a certain number of times, and just follow her because she's very good with that. The link I'll put in that PDF resource, or the image, so you can access that from my website to get to her, to find it easily. She has a lot of videos, which is good. I looked at a few different books, and this one's Sorry, this one seems to be the best, and I'll add this one on there as well. It's Breasts, the Owner's Manual by Dr. Christy Funk. And it has, I mean, it references all the different breastcancer.org and knowyourlemons.org, and it has all these different resources and information. It goes into detail. So that's the one that I found that was the best. I looked at Prevent, Survive, Thrive. That's Surgeon John West. It seemed more like his focus was more on the medical field should be more organized to handle breast cancer patients. So I didn't feel like this was the most helpful for what people were looking for. Just those simple habits. The other one, one last one, and it will make a bigger difference than you can imagine. Sipping hot water every 20 minutes and having it in a thermos it's not burn you kind of level. It's just like hot tea, basically. But when you get yourself used to it, slowly, it took me a year to get used to it. So if it takes you a little time, don't worry. It's okay. That's normal. When you're in my detox in the spring or in the fall, I teach more about it and about spiced water, some other options, because not everybody loves water yet. But it helps to get to the deeper part of the tissues that are not hydrated. And a lot of times when something is developing abnormal is because it's not hydrated enough. And one of the things with self-massage and with hydration is it's getting to that area, in any area that's stagnant and that's developing. It's when the cells go from normal to abnormal, basically. So when they start to transform and change like that, the way to prevent that is to have that hydration and that movement that you're doing each day. That way it's not giving it a chance to do that, and the microbiome in the body is able to do its work and keep your body healthy in all areas. And that is in all areas of the body. They're learning more and more about that. So as I know more about it, I'll definitely share on that. If you think of any questions, feel free to reach out. This video will be available on the YouTube channel and on my website, and you can reach out to me with to set up any body goals strategy session. We can talk more about this in particular if it's a challenge in your health or something preventative you want to talk more deeply about. Just reach out. I'm here to help. That's what I do this for. Thank you.